For clothing brands, they have many ASINs that are just size and color and variation in a campaign. Should you focus on per product? Do you focus on the cheapest ASINs or all of them? Ooh, that's a fantastic question. So you're getting into which variations do I advertise in my ad strategy? So it depends if you have data on the product or not. There's a lot of people who talk about like, oh, every single SKU should have its own individual campaign. I don't agree with that from a budget allocation perspective, from a performance analysis perspective. There's a whole bunch of reasons as to why we have chosen to do it this way. One of the reasons is because we work with a lot of clothing brands and the nuances and amounts of variations are like really intense. When you're looking at product variations, one thing that you should know is only one of your variations is going to be eligible to appear in an ad placement at any given time. Because even if you advertise all of your variations in a separate campaign, they're not all going to show at the same time. Only one of them is going to show. And a lot of sellers assume that the Amazon algorithm always picks the best performing variations for that search. That's not true. Oftentimes they'll pick, sometimes it's the top performer, but it doesn't always specifically match the shopper's search. So the algorithm makes its own judgment of which of your variations might be stronger. And then it'll look at things like past click-through rate, past conversion rate, but it doesn't always make the best decisions. And oftentimes, if we're being specific with which products we're advertising in the campaign, we can get much better performance than the ad algorithm can. So this is why variation control is so important. So unlike organic rankings, you can't choose which variation is going to show up in organic rankings. You absolutely can choose which of your variations is going to show up in your ad placements, and it comes down to what ASINs you're advertising in that campaign. So here's what we do. If you only have one child ASIN, obviously you're going to use that across all of your campaigns. If you have multiple variations, here's how you do it. If it's a brand new product, if you don't have any data to know like which of your variations is going to work best, what's the performance on each variation, etc. What we'll do is we'll group all of those in the campaign. And then what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll reevaluate, for this campaign and these targets, which of these variations perform best. You treat it exactly like you would say like adding a negative, or it's like, oh, so many clicks and no orders, and you start refining it. You would do that exactly with the products that are advertised in that campaign, again, including like all variations. If you already have some performance data, like so say you have some organic sales, you can look at business reports, say you've been running advertising across all of your variations for a while, you can pick which one performs best. Which one performs best is going to be the one that has the highest conversion rate. And then you can also maybe look at click-through rate as well. Also note, there will in fact be a lot of times when you've seen this, where the variation that performs the best in ads is not the variation that is the best seller. Now, I would say most times it's 101, but there are certain times where it's not. One of the things that we saw with one of the products we were advertising, there was a bright orange variation. It did not make good sales at all. It was like one of the lowest performing products. However, it absolutely crushed it in ads. The black one got all the sales, but when we put the orange one, because I don't think anybody had an orange variation, it like had the highest click-through rate and the ad showed really high conversion rates. And so for that reason, what we did is we just like advertised the orange one. We tried to swap it out with the black one, but the ads actually underperformed. So just pay attention more to your ad performance of the variation than like the business reports. But if you have only business reports data, you could start to maybe pick a couple winners there. So again, if you have the data to prove it, I would use the highest conversion rate variant. If you have keywords that apply to a very specific variation, example would be like blue water bottle, pink water bottle for running, women's pink running shoes, anything that is very specific. So in bedding, funny enough, this works really well. Even if like all of the images are the exact same, when somebody lands on the listing, it'll have queen size, king size, twin sheets. What we did is we separated out those like variation specific keywords into their own campaigns. And what we did is we advertised the variation that fit that description, and conversion rates rates were much, much higher for those campaigns. Again, doesn't even make any sense because the listing was except for some of the in the title and whatever. And even if they land on a twin sheet, they can go and pick the queen sheet. No, if you ever build out these campaigns, which honestly you have to do it manually, super painful, it's tedious, I get it, but you're going to get much better performance if you do it that way.